India has a rich repository of languages, culture, and scenic beauty. This diversity makes the country a tourist hotspot in South Asia. And mountains are an important part of the mix, particularly during the monsoon season. From the mighty Himalayas to the Western Ghats, Vindhyas, and Satpura, they attract visitors from around the world for their pristine beauty and diversity. During the summer months, the mountains become the preferred gateway for people. Development of urban facilities and last-mile connectivity has made the mountains a favorite during the monsoon as well. But the recent spate of landslides, cloudbursts, and land subsidence serve as an indicator that the ecosystem of the hills is disturbed, particularly during the monsoon season, which sees significant arrival of tourists. The thriving tourism industry has resulted in economic benefits in the hills, including job growth, increased sales, and flourishing of handicraft and traditional products.
Many of the mountain states of India, especially Uttarakhand, where there is a pilgrimage tourism like Kedarnath, there are many places like this where people are depending a lot on the tourism, especially during the monsoon season, which is giving them a lot of avenues.
While tourism boosts the hill economy, unrestricted influx of tourists during monsoon has a greater negative impact on the fragile flora and fauna of these regions. The need of the hour is effective government policies to make tourism sustainable for all seasons.
When we talk about the hill tourism, we need to be experiencing as well as planning for responsible tourism. And if I just take an example of one state, which is Uttarakhand, there is a recent policy that the state government came out, which talks about high value and low volume tourism. Important thing is that, yes, we need to look at tourism as a potential revenue generation avenue. However, the carrying capacity of every destination needs to be looked at and should be monitored, should be managed in a much more responsible manner.
The Ministry of Tourism has set a target of increasing the size of India's tourism economy to $1 trillion by 2047. It demonstrates the government's commitment to supporting this vital sector, but it should also focus on sustainable development so that the hill ecosystem is maintained.
Sustainable tourism in the hill areas, there are many areas of intervention that we need to look at, starting with the development and the construction aspects, which actually leads to several disasters in the states and in the cities, in the hill areas, and hence a very good control on the development and the construction, and especially on the disaster resilient infrastructure aspects. Second aspect of sustainability can be around waste management, and for which several of these policies in the hill states, they are actually addressing those aspects, which is about the waste management, including the food waste. The third important aspect of sustainability is conserving and focusing on natural heritage, natural resources, and preserving those natural resources.
Monsoon tourism in the hills leads to issues like congestion, stretched infrastructure, high power and water demands, pollution, damage to historical sites, rise in cost of living, and environmental crisis. Shrija S. Nair of Terry shares some measures that can address such challenges.
Every mountain state should focus upon is to give new avenues for the tourists to go. That is one thing. And the second thing they need to do is should be totally based on the carrying capacity and the footprint. How much a tourist area can take, that has to be taken into account before permitting any kind of tourist activity. These restrictions are only based on if there is a heavy rainfall and a flood. They stop only because it can be hazardous to their life or they get stranded, and not because it's going to harm the environment and ecosystem. And there should be more encouragement to people who are using natural means of transport, like walking by foot, or people who are using porters, they are going using mules and all. So for all those kind of traditional transportation means to be encouraged in tourist places instead of providing choppers till the last end.
Tourism is a primary source of income for the people living in the hills, but the influx of unchecked number of visitors during the rainy season can pose a threat to the fragile ecosystem of the region. Drawing inspiration from Bhutan, which emphasizes high-value tourism, it is imperative that hill destinations of the country also adopt sustainable tourism practices in keeping with regional sensitivities. Responsible behavior among tourists and stakeholders can also go a long way in mitigating the adverse impact of tourism in the hills during monsoon.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
He's about to land his dream job. Business Standard.